Opening to vote, Senator Winter. Video, right?
Give me a second to set this up. Alright, so I'm just going to show a short little video on optimism. Bear with me for a second here.
I need to look at that jacket.
How you doing?
Yeah. The one that's, yeah, that's attached to the table. Right, yeah.
Alright. You guys see that?
Turn the lights.
Yeah, you want to. Thanks, man. So what's that?
Maybe just with the jack up, yeah, it was, you could hear it.
That was through my speakers. Yeah, it's the same thing. Micah, do you know how it works?
Sound up on your
Yeah.
like for almost no reason it's not still going towards the same conference, it's just helping you out in a different way.
Alright, I'll just talk. Why not? Who needs videos?
Or you can play it with your iPad. You can still play, we can hear it from your iPad.
Alright,
Yeah.
sure. Why not? I apologize. Technical difficulties.
How would I define optimism?
You guys hear that?
That's a tough question. To go in 7 job interviews and not get a call back, and still be optimistic that you're going to get a call back.
Optimism is how you deal with any negativity, period.
An optimistic person sees the good in things, sees a hope in the future, wants to be part of a solution to make the world a better place.
It's hard to explain, but I guess optimism is it just brings the light into a person.
I would define optimism as finding the joy in everything.
When I wake up and I don't feel like that, my mom helps me. Because she sends me good morning and like, hi, my little flower, every day. Yeah, it's challenging to be optimistic when the entire support system that you rely on is looking at you and thinks you're absolutely absurd. Or who does she think she is to just leave such a comfortable job?
You know what? When I was a kid, I was definitely a bullied child, I'd say, especially in middle school. But I always knew that it would be okay, because sometimes you have to really believe that you see what is special in you, even if other people don't.
There is something going on, and it's kind of different, and it's like, okay. I found a lump in my breast, and I don't know what it is yet. And I think this is one of the situations that you have to be optimistic about it. Because I know deep down, I have that belief that I'm meant to be going through all of this to inspire other people.
It's important to send out positive vibes, and I think everything you put out into the world, it'll come back to you, and that's why optimism is very important.
I have tons of friends who have pessimistic views, and I see them not getting ahead in life.
I think you attract what you sense. So I have to be optimistic about like, oh, it's fat, or oh, that's good. That's gonna be the first time I'm gonna be happy about fat.
You have to be. I mean, you don't have to be, but it's better if you do. You'll be happier.
It's contagious in general, and the way you have an outlook on life is portrayed to the people around you.
And in the end, it doesn't turn out the way you put it out there to turn out. There is always something to be learned.
If you keep thinking good is gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I don't know the science behind it, but I can just say, when I say, okay, I'm gonna wake up today, it's gonna be a good day, I put in the effort to make it a good day, and usually, so it's a good day, so.
I hope I'm as optimistic in 20 years as I am today. I'll probably have kids, so yeah, I will be populating the world with more optimistic people, so that's good.
I am optimistic that I'll be successful in life. I'm optimistic about my future.
I'm optimistic about the unknown journey ahead to inspire other people through the power of my music.
Genuinely, I do believe that people are good people, and you waste so much time thinking about how it could go wrong or how terrible people can be, but if you just have that little optimism, it gets better. I was in the place.
So yeah, I guess I was trying to find a video that talked about autism and stuff, but that's something that I personally have been struggling a lot lately with my organizations, with my fraternity and everything. It's easy to focus on the negative things and like what people are doing wrong or what people aren't doing or what you're not doing or what could be better, and a lot of times we neglect to actually focus on what's going well, what can be doing to actually improve and to improve ourselves, to improve our organizations, to improve the way that we work on campus and stuff. So I guess, I don't know, I personally have been trying to just be more optimistic and be more focused on trying to ignore all the negative things and like what's in the past is in the past kind of thing, and just try to get better. Try to focus on doing what I can to help kind of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Senator Winter. Moving on, form of concerns. Anybody in the audience who wants to talk about why they're here or anything like that, this is now your time to give that presentation.
Hi.
You come on down.
What?
Come to the floor.
Okay. Hi. So we are in a group project for our digital video art class, and so for one of our scenes in our film, we want to have the Senate listening to a speech that we're going to give about how we want to put a vending machine on the second floor of the Luca. And so we're going to do it towards the end, right?
After the meeting.
Yeah, after your meeting is done. And so if a handful of you guys could just stay behind and just act as extras in it. Are you going to be our president in that film?
If you'd like me to.
Okay,
Yes.
yes. But yeah, so we just need like a handful of you guys to stay behind and just act as extras and debate among yourselves while we're filming. So, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so that'll be happening after the meeting, like you said. So if you do have the time to stick around, I encourage you to do that. That'd be a fun little thing for us to do. Moving on from there, can I get an approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve agenda.
Second. All those in favor, say yay.
Yay.
Opposed, say nay. All right, agenda is approved. Senators' reports. Anybody have anything for the previous week they'd like to report on? Nothing? Okay. Senator Davinsky.
This weekend, Mr. Burns is happening. There's a show going on, and there's a couple of people in Senate who are in Corral. Can you report to Corral this weekend?
Thank you. Yeah, try to get out to these events if you can. Anybody else?
Wait, who was at the play? Or was it Corral?
You didn't say
You.
anything. I was just kind of shamelessly self-pointing.
Sorry.
Senator Winter.
Tomorrow at 5 p.m. in the ballroom, there will be a voting event where, Nara has a flyer for it. It'll be like, you can register to vote there, you can ask any questions, a lot of organizations will be there with like tables and stuff, and we have a speaker coming in who is a reporter from what station?
WPEZ, which is the Chicago NPR station.
Yep. And so yeah, should be a good event. And it'll be fun. It's 5 p.m. ballrooms in the Union.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, sure. So last Friday, Sam, Annika, and myself went to a strategic planning summit with a lot of the higher ups at the university. Dr. Hunter and Dean Jenkins were there. I thought it was really cool because if you guys know what strategic planning is, that's like the future of the university, where we see ourselves in 10 years, what improvements should we make. I thought that was very cool. Everyone was very respectful, at least to me, and sharing my ideas. I don't know if you guys have anything to add.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really great experience. If you want to come talk to us about anything that we discussed or learned from that, please come approach us because there are a lot of good ideas that are going around. And things are really relevant to the university and the students as well. So definitely don't be afraid to approach us and ask us to share any of our new gained wisdom with you.
Yeah. Annika, anything to add? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Connell. Any other senators have reports? Okay. Moving on to our advisors' reports. Oh, sorry.
So Sigma Lambda Gamma is going to have a National Breast Cancer Awareness Month event where everybody can wear pink on Wednesday. So you guys can participate, and we will be sending out flyers soon, and there's a hashtag. Also, it's in support of breast cancer leading up to our show competition November 4th.
And that the date is the day for wearing the pink is what day?
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, okay.
Yeah, of October.
Any other reports? Great. Thank you all of you who reported. Advisors?
Yes, I would like to thank those who participated in the strategic planning retreat. And I will share that I heard a number of comments from people who said to me how impressive the students were who were there. So thank you for participating and sharing your ideas, because I think people thought that discussions were much richer when they had student perspective as well in them. So thanks so much for taking time to do that. And the other thing I would, there will be opportunities coming, by the way, for all the rest of you to have input, because something will go out from what happened in the summit, and there will be online, and then there will be a call for comments. So don't feel like you missed your opportunity if you weren't part of that. You still have an opportunity to kind of share your ideas and so on going forward. Then this Sunday, there will be an Indiana Bicentennial run. The Indiana state put together all these bicentennial celebrations, and as part of it they have a torch relay, and this is around the state, and people are picked to participate in the relay because of their contributions to their communities and so on. Well, there is a Valpo leg of this that will be on Sunday, and one of the runners, first of all of the runners are in the Valpo leg are students, except for we have, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Christopher Patterson, who was a student, who was in the Indiana National Guard, and his unit was called up when he was a student, and he didn't have to go because he was a student, but he went to Afghanistan with his unit and was killed, unfortunately, in Afghanistan. His father will be running in the race in honor of his son. But one of the other torch relay bearers is Nura. So I would encourage you all to turn out and cheer her on as she runs with the Indiana Bicentennial Torch on Sunday morning. At, do you know, is it 9:45 it's starting?
Yes.
With something at the Welcome Center.
Yes, there's like a memorial and commemoration, and then the run is at 10.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. Do you have anything? Okay. Officer reports. President Zaki.
So you have to bear with me because I'm still recovering from a cold, so I sound a little muffled. But yes, if you'd like to come, that'll be really fun because we have fun outfits for the race. We have these like really big jackets and hats and everything. So I'm not running representing myself, I'm representing the student body, which is all of you. So if you'd like to come or not, again, it's Sunday at 10 at the Welcome Center, and it'll be really fun. It's an actual like torch, and so we'll see how that goes. I'd like to build off the great devotion this morning, or this beginning of the meeting, and say that speaking about optimism, there's a lot, I guess, in this world that we don't have control over. But for those things that we do, we choose our attitude when dealing with them. And so one thing, again, with this event, when we talk about the national presidential election that's going on, this is something really important. And we don't have an opinion on Sunday which way you vote. We simply want you to be involved and to encourage participation. If you have the privilege and the right to vote, you also have that responsibility. So I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand if you are registered, but just think in your mind, if you're registered or if you're not, make sure that you do get registered and that you make the people around you make this a priority, because we're almost a month out. It's November 8th when we have the election, and it's November 3rd. So, yeah. This event is actually run by a student. So Kylie Schreiber is a senior. She had this idea. She put it on all by herself, and invited others to participate. So please, please, please. I'll be leaving this up here. It's tomorrow again at 5 to 7. There will be college Democrats and college Republicans present, and there's going to be time for you to either register, just be engaged, and things like that. And so you can take a picture of it. I'll leave it up here. Don't take it with you yet. And please share it on Facebook too. Okay, next thing. I'd like to welcome all of our guests, but especially VUTV who's here tonight. I was very happy to be invited to their all-staff meeting yesterday. It was very productive. It was very informative to hear all the different things that they're doing. We actually have some members that participate in some of their videos. I know Micah is a moderator for the Valpo Town Hall segment that they do that moderates discussions about politics. Has anyone else involved in this stuff? Yeah, Carlos is definitely speaking there, and Alex, yeah. So, we just want to acknowledge the work that you do and your partnership with us as well. And would you like to talk a little bit about what you're doing right now with this?
Oh, sure. So I'll actually come down. I was going to talk about it at the end because it's a little weird, but this is the first run. So I just asked for housekeeping. If you can stand, if you're going to address the Senate, if you wouldn't mind standing right here where I'm looking directly at the camera, and a couple people stand over here and I had to move it. I have a microphone here and a microphone back there. So you can say hi to Katie and Brandy who are in the control room. But this is being broadcasted on Channel 15 here on campus. It's also being streamed live to YouTube and will also be recorded and rebroadcasted on Channel 15. We're kind of terming this B-SPAN. So as long as I'm at a Senate meeting, there will be a camera here. And of course, if you do, I don't know the rules behind it, but if you do move into a closed session where we need to shut this down, just ask for a couple minutes to notify the control room and then turn the camera off.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind, just so that we capture what you're saying, if you are going to come in front, just stand right here so that we get your voice, full voice. And I can move the camera as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And again, they asked if that was okay, and we brought it to the executive meeting on Friday, and we all thought that it was a good idea. It's in line with our mission to represent the student body and to get what we're doing here out to them. And so this is just one more step that we can take to do that. So my last thing, continuing from last week, we voted on 8 people to represent students at the University Council, and now I have 11 others that will either serve on the council or on council committees. So if you'll bear with me, I will mention their names, and if requested, or I might as well just mention some of their affiliations if that works. So I'll begin now, if that's okay. So this is a slate of students I recommend for the University Council and their committees. Jabria Ali, she is a senior. She is involved in Delta Sigma Chi, which is the business fraternity. She is also involved in Chris College, and I'm recommending her for the Campus Community Policy Committee. Then we have Emily Roberts. She is a sophomore. She is representative in Greek life. She's also, I believe, in Delta Sigma Chi, if I'm not mistaken. Emily Roberts. Or maybe not. Okay. She's involved in a professional fraternity, I'm sure. And I'm recommending her for community policy as well. Then we have Eric Brigger. He is a junior. He's involved in ministry at the chapel. We have Cassidy Wright. She is a junior, and she is involved in residence life. We have Dana Winkle. She's involved in the Club Educate, as well as a number of residence life groups as well. We have Kylie Schreiber, who's involved in the Political Science Honor Fraternity, as well as mock trial. Yvonne Lee is a sophomore. She is involved in Greek life. She's also involved in a professional fraternity, I believe, sociology. We have Kevin LaSure. He's involved in the Campus Traditional Board. Has expressed interest in this group. We have Marvin Sanchez. He is a junior involved in campus ministry and study abroad. I believe he's a Chinese study abroad ambassador. And then we have Ben Piazza, who is a junior, and he's involved in a number of things as well, including Greek life and including musical groups. So that is the slate of students that I recommend to vote on.
Are there any questions for President Zaki this time? All right. If there's no discussion, we will move to vote. All those in favor of approving Senator Zaki's slate, please raise your hand. All right. Thank you. Those opposed? And abstentions. Great, slate passes 16-0-0.
All right, thank you very much. That's all.
All right, thank you, President Zaki. Moving on to my report, just echo a couple of things. Again, like Dr. Hunter said, please take the time to build that comment section of when they send more stuff out about strategic planning. Those very important meeting with a lot of information. So take the time to read that over, talk to students, encourage them to also give their input as well. And also, again, about the film, please stick around if you have the time so we can have some fun together, I guess. Moving on to parliamentarian, it's still vacant. I'm sure screening committee is being diligent on fixing that. Moving on to secretary report.
The only quick 2 things I have to say is you'll all have name counts next week on card stacks, so everyone will know each other's names. Actually, I thought of something else to ask. So, I just thought of this. Would it be beneficial to have your name on both sides so people from behind would be able to reference? Okay. All right. That sounds good. And then the only other thing is that minutes and attendance should be posted on the website this week or next week soon. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Secretary Topol. Public Relations Coordinator Callan.
No report.
Okay. Executive and Assistant Treasurer Gabe and Hatfield.
Okay, everybody. Another reminder about the contact info. Please have orgs fill that out. If they haven't seen it, please get it to me when they have the chance. If you're at the voting event tomorrow night, tell college Republicans and Democrats to respond to it. That would be great. And anybody else there, I'm sure there will be a lot of people representing different organizations, so that'll be another way to get the message out. I am working on editing the list of student orgs so I can send out an email, but so you guys can pass along to anybody you know in orgs or orgs you're in. There's, for the orgs that have stipends, their stipends are going to be due October 17th for first quarter. This isn't really a big deal for any other orgs. It doesn't affect them. But for orgs with stipends, we're just requesting those get in as soon as possible so we can start processing them so students can get paid. And again, Tier 3 specifically, if you know about anybody who hasn't received an email, that's the majority of orgs who have not responded. And I know admin committee is going to need that information like now. So if you have any contacts with those people, please reach out to them and me. If you email anybody, just CC me in it so I can get their information from them.
Thank you, Executive Treasurer Gabe. Moving on to committee reports. Executive Committee.
The only thing that we talked about that has moved forward is that your office hours, has everyone received the email with the, okay, good. So that is where you can change it if you're needing to change your permanent office hours. If for a week, some of you have emailed me saying you have a test, so you won't be there for that specific hour, that's okay. Of course, that comes first. But if you're planning to change it regularly, then make that change present on the sheet. That's all.
Thank you. Administration Committee.
So we have an org to vote on tonight. The organization is called VFA, or the Voices for Animals. They're an organization that's based on promoting animal rights. They're largely like an activities and like events-based organization. They plan on showing documentary screenings, having like nutritional events. We've done a couple like pre-organization events with like showing how to cook certain vegan meals. They're not requesting any sort of funding or anything like that for this first semester because they will be supported by PETA. They'll be receiving not stipends, but they'll be receiving some money from them because one of their exec board members is a member of PETA. The vote from the admin committee was 5-0-0.
Is there any discussion?
How many individuals show interest in this organization?
Right now they have 6 people on in the organization itself. They said that their ideal size is 10, so similar to UPC, how it's an organization of 7 people that just throws events. That's kind of what they're going for, like an educational group. They said that they're open to expanding.
What kind of funding are they looking for from Senate in the future?
Nothing right now. In the future, just anything that wouldn't get covered by PETA.
Did they share how the turnout is at the meetings that they have?
At the first event that they threw, they said they had about 20, and then at another and then they said for another one it was either 20 or a little bit more than 20, 25.
I'd like to remind senators to please raise their hands if you're waiting to be called on for discussion. Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, move it to a vote then. All those in favor of approving Voices for Animals, VFA, as a new organization, please raise your hand. Okay, those opposed and abstentions. Okay, passes 14-0-1.
All right. And then next week, well, we won't be voting on it here. One of them needs to resubmit some of their paperwork because their constitution is not in order. But Shout, which is a musical organization, like a gospel musical organization, is applying to be an organization. And then Pokemon Brigade, which failed to be re-recognized last year, like they just didn't apply to be re-recognized last year, is applying for the re-recognition process. So we'll be voting on those next week. Additionally, in regards to the liaison program, you'll be receiving a survey tonight since only 3 people sent me emails about what they would like to do. So you get a survey that's due by Wednesday at 5 p.m. If you do not reply by Wednesday at 5 p.m., you're just going to get assigned one. And then we have additionally, when you do give your preferences, you cannot be the liaison to an organization you are in. Just for bias reasons, you cannot be the liaison to you can't represent one of the organizations that you're in. We'll be talking about an SR tonight that has to do with that, so that'll be in new business though. And then I think
all right, Finance Committee.
We have one line item shift for Chi Epsilon Pi, which is the American Meteorology Society. It's a professional organization, and so essentially they want to shift out of one line for the AMS annual meeting registration to AMS annual meeting travel and hotel lodgings. I believe the annual meeting registration got covered, so they just want to shift into the travel and hotel to sort of offset the costs so more students can go as opposed to less students that can't afford it. So the amount is in $760 from the AMS annual meeting line to the AMS annual meeting travel and AMS annual meeting hotel of $560 and $200 respectively. And finance 300.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this line item shift? Okay. Then, all those in favor of the line item shift of $760 from AMS annual meeting registration to the lines AMS annual meeting travel for $560 and AMS annual meeting hotel for $200, please raise your hand if you're in favor of that. Okay, thank you. Those opposed? And abstentions? Okay, passes 16-0-0. Senator Conrad. Moving on then to Committee on Media. Thank you. Screening Committee.
Short report. Be careful. So the applications were sent out last week. Thank you, Mr. Jenkins, for that. Just encourage your friends to apply. Again, we have the parliamentarian seat, 2 junior senator seats, 2 senior senator seats, and 1 international senator seat. So we would like to get as many applicants as possible. And we set the deadline for October 17th. So, just let them know that that's actually a hard deadline because we would want to have people by the end of October. So we want to have the full Senate. So we can do the liaison program, budgeting, all that stuff. So we want to have the full Senate at that time. And I think the positions have been posted on Facebook, so you can share them with your friends. And I'll also be getting in touch with the church to see if they can maybe post something about it, or maybe put something about it in the paper this weekend so people can see it. So yeah, just let your friends know about the position. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Nika. Moving on to Committee on Residents. Yeah, absolutely. So SRs are they're called Senate resolutions. It's basically an amendment to usually the bylaws, sometimes the Constitution. If senators feel that a particular part of the bylaws would be updated or changed, they can bring those in the form of SRs. And what happens is we will have a formal reading of this SR tonight. Then next week, after you've had time to review it and discuss it with your constituents and everything like that, we will take a vote on the SR to either pass it or fail it. Are there any general questions on SRs? Okay. So, Hunter?
All right. Did everyone get a copy of this? Or did they not have them? Okay. Sweet. So, I guess we'll start off by reading it, and then we can discuss a little bit. I'll explain some of the reasons why we bring it up, and we can have questions. All right. Whereas, Bylaw 16, Clause 9 of the most current version of the Senate Master Bylaws reads that all senators are required to be a liaison to one or more student organizations at the discretion of the Administration Committee, and whereas it also reads that all senators shall keep in correspondence with the designated organizations on at least a monthly basis. And whereas we find that this structure and these qualifications fail to accurately paint a picture of what the liaison program was intended to be, and whereas we find the requirements listed in our bylaws fail to properly require action on part of the student senators to initiate and maintain contact with the liaison organizations. So let it be resolved that the following 3 new clauses be added to the end of Bylaw 16. Clause J. Each senator shall be required to attend at least 2 of their assigned liaison organizations meetings per semester. Clause K. Each senator shall be required to make at least 1 report at a General Assembly meeting post attending one of their liaisons meetings, or each of their liaisons meetings, in order to inform the Senate on the health and ongoing activities of the organization. Clause I, each senator shall be required to either make contact with or meet with an executive member of the liaison organizations at some point prior to budgeting in order to make clear all their wishes and concerns before the allocation of funds. If they receive no response from the organization, the senator will be expected to provide proof of an attempted contact, like a text or email, to the chair of the administration committee before the budgeting meeting. And additionally, let it be resolved that Bylaw 16, Clause G, that reads, campus-wide organizations must have a student senate liaison who has been in student senate for no less than 1 semester, be amended to say Tier 1 as opposed to campus-wide. That's just kind of a rider that we threw on there because we need to start changing over the wording in that. So, yeah. So I guess it's open to questions now. I know some of it is kind of pedantic and confusing, but does anyone have any questions? Yep.
In that last clause, or bylaw 16 clause G, so would that mean that senators who are in the first semester, they need like another senator to be a liaison?
No, so like if you're a first semester senator, you won't be assigned to a Tier 1 organization. It used to be, last year it was campus-wide organizations were Tier 1, like that was the designation, but we just shifted it to be, instead of campus-wide Tier 1, Tier 2, now it's just Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. So it's just changing the name. That was already a thing that was in there. So the campus-wide organizations are Tier 1 are like UPC and SALT and stuff like that, like the biggest organizations. Anything else? All right. Yeah, we feel like the liaison program has been kind of. Oh no. Go.
Is it currently in the bylaws that you can't be a liaison to an organization you're currently in?
Yeah.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Are you not seeing it in there?
No, but I'm probably missing it.
If not, we can add that because that's just kind of a concept thing. We have a lot of SRs that we're going to be bringing in the next couple weeks. Like this isn't the only one we have planned, so we're going to be fixing things and stuff like that. Actually, I could probably throw it on this one. Honestly, I can change that for next week.
I don't know. I don't like that idea personally.
Okay.
I think, we have a big enough problem with the liaison program as is in like the past history the last couple of years. So I'd say like making it more difficult for people to be in organizations, like go to the meetings and stuff. I don't know, I'm a little shaky on that.
Okay.
I just think you need to be like actively involved, and if you're already actively involved, you might be able to give better representation of what's actually happening, as opposed to like pushing you into organizations you really have no interest in. Just, I don't know, thought.
Yeah, that thought was brought up too, but on the counter side, I guess there is the issue of like bias. Like you want somebody who's advocating for your organization during budgeting meetings, and obviously you can't really do that effectively without coming across bias. So the liaison would be the person who can advocate for you with like an unbiased opinion kind of thing. Which I suppose if you were the liaison, you could still have somebody else do it, but it just seems easier that way, if that makes sense.
On the flip side, if you're not involved in an organization, you may have a bias against that organization because quite frankly, you don't care about it. That could also be a potential issue with that system.
Motion to open the floor to Treasurer Kate.
Second.
Point of clarification in the bylaws under clause 9, it does say that liaison assignments will be reapportioned throughout the academic year as needed at the discretion of the administration committee. So if any concerns were to come up, depending if the SR was not passed, you would be able to have the admin committee address those issues as the school year continues.
That's true. And then, what was your question again, sorry?
Like if you don't really care about an organization because you put into it because you like if we implement the rule regarding starting over. If we're not actively involved in an organization, we may have an inherent bias against that organization because we quite frankly don't care about it, which would kind of be the opposite problem that we're trying to fix by implementing that.
Yeah, I understand what you mean there, but I guess if you do have a bias towards the organization that you feel like is going to hinder your ability to actually mediate between Senate and the organization, you can speak to EJ about being changed to a different one. That's not a problem. As Brandy said, it's written in our bylaws that you can be reapportioned.
I was just going to say, if you are negatively biased towards an organization that you get assigned to, please let me know. I can change it. And if your bias is simply that you just don't care, don't be in student senate. That's your job, is to care.
We're here to represent all the organizations, not just the ones that we like. Do you have a question too?
I was going to say, like, I think what he was going for more so was like, you might care to like a certain degree about group that you've never attended, okay, but like a group that you're a member of, you would care on a much higher level. That's what I think he was trying to get to. So like, I'm just trying to explain it better.
Not that. I just wanted to say, I think this is a really good SR, simply because it's going to get people more involved with these organizations, and it will help us a lot during budgeting, because like a lot of times at the meetings, we don't know a lot about organizations. So having senators get more involved is really nice.
We also think it'll help us with REREC too, additionally, like, because we can go off the numbers that organizations tell us in REREC so much, but we don't actually know unless we have somebody who's going to their meetings and telling us like what's actually happening kind of thing. So it'll help us more properly like put them in the tier that they should be in and stuff like that. So really there are a lot of upsides to this, and it seems like not many downsides other than it might be a little extra work than you used to, but it's not really even that much. So yeah.
Also, what would you define as being in an organization? Like, there's an organization I've like attended half a meeting like throughout the whole year so far.
If you put it on your resume, you're in the organization.
Couldn't there be a lot of organizations you are in but you don't put on your resume?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I mean, if you're in the organization, you're in the organization. It's not really that hard to tell. Yeah.
For clarification, there's nothing in the bylaws right now that says any restrictions on what student can or cannot be in the org unless an SR is brought to the floor and passed. You guys don't need to worry about that.
Yep. Which we might see one of those, and we can discuss all the issues with that when we bring it forward. For now, though, is there any other discussion based on like what's actually here in this one? Not seeing any, right? I think that's it then.
Like I said, we will be voting on this SR then on our next meeting. We'll try to get an electronic copy presented as well, which is lose this one. So please look over that, discuss that with each other and with other people to better understand that. Thank you. Moving on then to forum of concerns. Is there anything else our audience members would like to say at this time? Okay. Post-mortem, thank you all for coming again. I hope you made it to the presidential debate last week on time. You enjoyed it as much as I did. That being said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor, please say yay.
Yay.
Opposed, nay. Great. Meeting is adjourned. Yeah, please, if you're willing to stay around for the filming. If you're not staying around and you're leaving, please be quiet. So we can get that out.